Basically, that's a good. I think for physical education, we must that incorrect image. And so, from this summary, we have a very strong message. You have student interest in learning physics and give them correct image about physics and physicists. But from this evaluation, we also find high correlation between student interest and the experiment phenomenon, natural and much. So we are very value the experiment and how to use and how to develop and the good experiment. I say it will be very good for our physics education. So I'd like to give you two examples of this category. First, intellectual intelligence, firefighter. And this is event by function, and this firefighter can search the aim automatically. And unless they are not wind. And this kind of different height and different distance to the distinguish. Can scan, search, and aim the fire, and then and we had problem with electricity, so 4 hours ago this machine was broken. The fun and the view repaired it. And seeing this experiment, students think, oh, this must be very complicated, very sophisticated apparatus. But actually, the core part of this equipment dealing with very basic physics, very simple and basic physics. And that's the main activity is Karl and the name. And this sensor infrared light, when the radiation comes from being focused to this sensor, and it ignites the switch, and then to get the water jetted. And so this is the needle for getting water. So that's so students are very, very surprised that And another example is like a dancer, and here we have two little boys, and this is the girl, and this is a boy. This is made by my son. And for this experiment, we need a volunteer. and speak. And let me say, and for some people, when he or she speak, one is rotating. For some people, both. For some people, no one. Yeah. So it depends on the lucky.
Okay, dance, dance, dance. Sing. Nobody sing. Sing, 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 sing.
The boy is like you. So, another volunteer?
There we go. There we go.
The girls like sing or
Any
happy and you know
Okay. This, you may wondering what is this, and this is bottle, and some brush. How do you call this?
bristles.
Yeah. And this one. So both. But they rotating in the opposite direction. This because is stick in another way, different way, and this is a loudspeaker. But here we use optical communication. And there are some trick here. So that's not that's just a joke. Okay. So and this is the first category. Students, when they see such films, they are very interested in knowing what's behind. So we like this kind of film very much. And the second category, fostering novel ideas and creative thinking in the experiment. And we physics teachers appreciate simple, low-cost hands-on experiment very much. Why? In China, maybe some teachers sometimes think this is because we are not so developed, so we especially in such experiment. But this is not the whole story. For this experiment, we think the most valuable idea is how communicate. It is a simple but perfect approach to deal with now complicated knowledge. The knowledge is very, very not complicated, but this is quite creative idea. So for students, that's a very challenging task. So, and I would like to show you another example. This kind of. So this is a toy car. Looks very ordinary, but so students will think, oh, this must be very sophisticated, very complicated, because it's so intelligent. But actually, the structure is very simple, very creative. You will have yeah. The only difference is from other ordinary car is there are additional wheel that's installed perpendicularly to the other four. When we switch on, it's rotating in this way, but we installed not in the same level. It's a little bit inside. So when we go to the surface, not touch, but when it goes down,
Oops, back. Backwards.
and here I have another element. This part looks not special, and this very ordinary elastic collision, but I do something. Then, click. Yeah. Totally different. So students are surprised. Why? What's inside? And I carry back home. So what's the mechanism? This one. And inside. Computers. Yeah. We don't need a computer here. It's the real thing. And first, here, there are stick table. So it's the total not moving. So this is not enough. Okay, but next time I just turn. So this is not stick table. So this way. And then because I'm teacher in the university for teacher training. When I discuss with some high school teachers, they very often say, oh, you are ideally good, but we have not time. We are very busy for teaching and problem solving. We have not time to make such equipment and very complicated. And that's true, but such equipment costs not much time, but is rewarding very much. So the good idea is very important. So I do this almost most time for thinking, but very few time to do that. This card is a gift from my friend Yoji from Japan. He visited us and do a lot of experiments and give this as a present for me. And I found he used this for the, you know this, and some string and lots, like this way. And then I think I must think another way. So I use the same, but this is from our department. This from the Wafa University. And this also from this department. So we try to convince the teacher if you keep thinking and maybe save some time. So that's important. And, so from this example, we very high value the educational value, and he develops a very good experiment and very deep thinking about the student difficulty to differentiate between velocity and acceleration. We all know that's a very difficult topic. And Mr. Huang is one of the best high school teachers in our country, and he invited our conference to give a private lecture last summer in the conference. And he is showing his apparatus. The idea is the acceleration is very difficult. Students understand why. Because for human sense of visual, it's very difficult to visualize, to make sense of the change of length, change of the distance, and no matter, and also, and it's even more difficult to understand the rate of change. So then, and also another one is very difficult because so Mr. Huang think about another possibility. Is it possible to understand that acceleration by theory? By C is difficult. What about by theory? That's his idea. And this idea came from both his experience and the verbal psychology, pedagogy and psychology. So that's one. This law told us the human sense of hearing is much more sensitive. We recognize the change of tone in regard to this is very much more sensitive. So that's the theoretical base for this experiment. So that's his effort. And to use a video tape, audio tape, and on the tape, there are fixed frequency tone music recorded already. And with this, there are magnetic head of sound connected with the amplifier, something like that. And when the card move uniformly and tone do not change. And when they go fast, the tone is higher. But if the speed is not changed, the tone is not changed. So in this way, because the hearing, the sense of hearing toward this change of tone is very sensitive. So it helps somebody. And he also developed some computer game to like there's a computer to make the sound. Students can play and then thinking about it. So that's a very creative invention. So I'd like to show you another approach, another example. And I'm sorry, I take this picture without the clear permission from And this is a very nice picture. It's showing the wave. And the students are very difficult to understand. We said, oh, it looks something go ahead, but it's just vibrating up and forth. But students really see something go. So that's very difficult for the teacher to explain. So some teachers said, oh, that's just said by textbook. So some students said, oh, the physics teacher the physics is not reasonable. That's the source. So we must think about why it's so difficult for students. So there are many different ways to address this difficulty. We are thinking a lot of possibility to make the student awareness the limitation of human sense. And here we have a equipment about and here we have two lines, and we have two lines hole, but behind, not really. This behind there are one line is LED light, three. But one line is only one LED. But it is installed on a cart moving. Only one LED, the cart moving. And another is not moving, LED not moving, but lit one by one. So that's the different structure. Can you tell me which is which? Up or down? Up or down? For the moving cart, one LED. If you think it is up, please raise hand. If you think down, raise hand. So there are only two possibilities. So actually, we cannot differentiate which is which because it looks the same. The sensor effect is the same. So that's indicated the human
sense of visual cannot tell is one moving toward or many moving one by one. So that's a simulation for the wave problem. And in this experiment, we address the importance to recognize the limitation of human sense, because human sense sometimes tell a lie and not the real physics. So that's sometimes students are very confused about that. So with this experiment, we address that problem. And later on, you can open this free and a free book in this structure. You know this. I'm sorry. And third category is challenging task of hands-on activity require much inquiry. And you very often you learn and switch in mind, which this very famous old saying. However, we should not forget real understanding. It is necessary to switch on the hand as well as mind and heart. Students must involve in the learning process. So, and here, this is very good, but it is possible to make the signal adding more visible, more simple and to understanding. So he invented this device. He used a laser point and this laser beam, and this is a loudspeaker. A loudspeaker vibrating, and there are shared piece stick on the diaphragm of a loudspeaker. So it can be shared the laser beam and up and down. So the signal from the loudspeaker can be influence the density of the light laser beam. So if you get this laser beam, it contains information. So that's another way for communication. Yeah. Here is the device. Because it is very small, but you can, after that, you can have a look. Professor Han from Northeast University, who will come, and he also used the third eye to find the new use of discarded material to use for the pigment. And there are many. This is a pump, and this toy carved in the special even way. And you will have a look at very nice. This is a boat. So this is a set of bottle physics toy, and he has a lot of that. There are many pictures, and you will have a look. Yeah, like this. So. So, a short summary, conclusion.
We have two truck lamps, 6-volt truck lamps, connected in series with a nice switch right here. Battery symbol down here. Behind this is the power supply, so you don't have to worry about using batteries if you don't want to use batteries. Some people do want to use batteries. Closing the switch, you can see the series configuration, and then again, we have, we'll leave those on, the parallel configuration on a 6 volts there. Close the switch. And you can see that the light bulbs are wonderful. It's a visible power meter. You're looking at the current and the voltage here. You're looking at the power. By looking at the brightness of the bulb, you can see that the amount of power being dissipated in the series configuration compared to the amount of power being dissipated in the parallel configuration here. Wonderfully easy to do, and now with the idea that you're just taking truck lamps and knife switches, you can make any series parallel combination that you want to do. Typically there's a favorite that everyone will do each year. One of the favorites is this one right here, so why don't I disconnect this second one here. And we call them circuit puzzlers. You can make any configuration, as I said. Let's lay this down. Let's see it when it's So here's our two series bulbs. And the question is, if I close this switch, what's going to happen to this bulb when these two are put in parallel? Will it get brighter? Will it get dimmer? Will it stay the same? Okay, it looks like we have someone else who thinks it's on brighter. And let's see. It got extremely bright. So much brighter, it actually looks like these two bulbs may almost be out. I don't know if you can see them dimly glowing. They are very dimly glowing, and I usually give the faculty a can, and you can cover this one up and show that these two that are in parallel are indeed glowing. So you can talk about the difference in power between this bulb here and what's being shared across these two. So, and you can make up any circuit puzzle that you want, just using a board or a piece of cardboard, wood, and truck lamps, and a knife switch.
Where do you get the receptacles for lamps?
You can buy the receptacles. Where do you get receptacles for truck lamps?
I buy them at
Napper. Auto parts stores.
You could use plain old porcelain bases and just buy RV lamps. They look just like regular lights and they're 12 volt. You get them in any RV supply shop. That's recreational vehicles.
Okay. Again, other circuits, of course, main series circuit. I asked the students, of course, what happens if I have two bulbs in series? How does the brightness compare between that one and this one? Of course, the brightness is a direct indication of the power, direct indication of the current through them. And I have these where you just start out. So we have two bulbs in series. And then what happens to the bulbs if I add another one? How does the brightness of that one compare to this one, and so on? Of course, the students all know this, so they always get that, right? Now we've got one here that's a little bit different bulb, apparently. You have to watch for that. But essentially, similar bulbs all have the same brightness, right? Okay. it's non-linear in that it's not really an ohmic device, like
They don't
everything.
measure the ohm.
But it doesn't matter because once it settles down, then it's still V equal IR, or R equals V or I. Okay. Then a series parallel combination, right? So again, if the students, okay, here's one bulb. Now if I connect these two in parallel with that, how will the brightness of these compare to that? How will the brightness of that one compare to that one? And obviously much dimmer. And then one step further, another parallel branch. You get dimmer. And the students all get that. They know that, right? So then we go to another one. Okay? And again, one. Now if I connect this in, I'll have basically again this 2 in parallel with that 1, right? If this one switched out, so that one's locked out. So if I go there, and of course the students know that this one will be equal to that one in brightness, and that one will be much brighter. But then I ask, okay, what happens if I add this one that's in parallel with this? But that combination is in series there. Okay. How will the brightness of this one compare to that one? How will the brightness of these two compare to that one? And what happens to the brightness of this one and that one? Anybody?
Top one gets better.
Top one gets brighter? What about this one?
Gets dimmer.
I agree. Does indeed get dimmer. See if you're paying attention. And that one almost always gets the students.
How far can you go there? You can't go much farther in terms of number of bulbs before they don't like. About 50
You
inches.
mean in series?
In terms of the number of branches we can continue to fire on here.
Oh, you can go with as many parallel branches as you
Well,
want.
parallel, but I mean, already those last two bulbs are pretty much out. I mean, what's the voltage at which those things go?
Well, you saw with that other series set, I had 5 of them, they were just dimly glowing. So 5 bulbs in series, at least 135 watt bulbs. Well, diminishes.
What's your wife?
135. It's just the bulbs that were available. For some reason, our janitors and what have you use 135 watt bulbs.
Okay, I don't think this is on the PIRA 200. We're at, yeah, I'm jumping ahead a little bit over to resistance. And I don't think I see a resistor listed in PIRA 200. But this has to do with resistance and length. What I have here is simply a light bulb. And I have 2 parallel wires that stretch tightly across this board here. So the circuit is something like this. There's 2 long wires stretched across the board. And connecting them is a wire, it's a diagram with a light bulb. So it's acting as a visible power meter, or if you will, its brightness is a proportion of the resistance. The question is, if I increase the length of wire, will my resistance stay the same, go up, or go down? What will happen to the brightness of the bulb? here is that as I slide this bulb down this,
Or the resistance.
right, and we move this along one into the other, I'm increasing my length of wire by doubling it. So when my bulb is down this end,
What kind of wire?
you know what, I'm not sure, it just happened to be some uninsulated wire that was in the demo.
This isn't gonna work. I think I can answer that question. It's Karl, which is electrical heater resistance wire. It's Karl. Now, there's an article on Trappe about it recently, and I've got the reference. You can purchase this stuff over the mail order. It's got a resistance of something like 180 ohms per liter.
High.
Very high. It's fairly high.
Well, it's almost micro, like you're saying.
Nichrome, yeah. It's a nichrome. Karl is the brand name in Swede that came up with it.
Spell it.
Kanthal. We used to have miles of it around the department because of these people going on research projects.
So why don't I slide this down here? Obvious. Again, the bulb is acting as a very convenient clock meter for telling your students what's happening to the power, what's happening to the resistance in this circuit. You can see it's going, the resistance is going way up, power is going way down. Very simple, we're talking $10. A board from somewhere in a truck lamp, in a truck socket, in socket.
What's your potential difference?
I've got about 6 volts. It's a 6-volt truck lamp. Now to make this little slider here, what you've got is a socket. A socket with 2 wires coming out, and I've used 2 small tubes here. You can get small diameter tubes from a company called All Tube, which is at 1-800-ALL-TUBE. And just mic out the diameter of your wire and match it with get something slightly larger for your tube. Make sure it's a good conductive piece of copper or something.
Brass.
Or brass, and just spread your wires right through there. So now you can slide them up and down. I use relay contact cleaner to clean off my wires in here before I get an extra light bulb. Very simple, easy, low cost, and off the shelf.
Tubing, like Jerry's mentioned, is also available at your model supply house. Model airplane guys and train guys use it. So it's readily available there. You buy it, you go in there and buy a foot for a couple of bucks. This instrument is the most impressive demo I've seen. Way cool.
So you didn't like my exploding glove?
Series parallel, obviously with most of these demos you can go really complicated or really simple. We have 2 versions today. One of the series parallel, we have 5 light bulbs, you can do any interactive change. And that's really kind of fun in a way because I hook up an ammeter to it in class and we can show how the current changes if you connect more and more light bulbs in series or if you connect more and more in parallel, talk about circuits and houses and so forth. But some people want simpler to better, so we're going to touch a button works perfectly every time. So for those who build simple, just 2 light bulbs, a single switch. You can throw it one way and you have the light bulbs in parallel, or the other way you have them in series. And that's dim. Simple, quick, easy work. But with this one you can do a neat twist. And this is for more of the upper level stages. It's a lower level too, so you can ask some questions. If I put a 60 watt and a 100 watt light bulb on here without dropping them on the floor. And if I run these things in parallel, which one will be brighter, 100 or 60? 100. Yeah, scary when we get out. So what about in series then? 60 comes out bright. Most of the neighbors don't know. It's kind of a neat thing. You could ask them that, make them think about it, come back the next day and actually show them. So this is just, obviously it's something you can regular, pretty simple. Just put a switch in there. I think for the old bulb over there, it might be a tricky and do a simpler switch than that.
Okay. Next on board is a capacitor light bulb. This is simply yet another variation of the same thing I struggled with a few minutes ago. Next is magnetic domains. These are simply an array of compass needles. You put on a overhead projector, and things line up very nicely. Put my hands closely in the way.
I found those to be extremely expensive.
Think about it. So, this is Jerry Hester's. I don't know if it looks ancient. Okay. However, if you don't want to show them that way, there's other ways of showing the same thing. Oops, I put a flat on here. Okay, focus. These are iron filings, and we've all seen this. So that's, oh, I skipped over Orsted. Orsted is important simply because this is where the stuff came from. Orsted experiment is what Orsted did. Orsted was playing with the battery one time. You notice that? Got it? Just bring it right across.
We already explained.
Well, hold it there. I need a little bit more here. Okay, so one day he was playing and he noticed that the compass needle twitched. And that's Orsted experiment. Using a longer wire will work more conveniently.
How many amps do you need to have Orsted work?
Depends on how sensitive your compass is, but generally it takes about 10 amps.
10 amps or so, right. You have to get a pretty hefty power supply. I don't really advise using a battery, a car battery, for kids to play with. If you do this as a workshop type thing or anything like that, it's too dangerous.
We do it with 2D cells.
2D cells?
Just take it on there also.
Okay. That's, use something a little smaller. Car battery, it's great for us to play with, maybe. I wouldn't even give it to a professional, actually. Against them.
Did you say that because of the acid or because of the potential of the else that can do it?
No, one guy put his hand in, was leaning on it, always between the leads.
The other thing is that you leave the wire across in the classroom. That's right.
Okay, onwards to magnetic fields and more magnetic fields and wires. Of course, this one isn't on the list, but really nice, this cell with iron filings in oil. You can put it on the overhead and put a magnet in. Of course, then you can turn it.
Where do you get those? Acronym, right?
Yeah.
Can you leave them on the overhead station or not?
You wouldn't want to leave it there for terribly long, especially unless you have one of the cooled running overheads.
I think arbor cells, the key is you have to shake it up first, then put like a cow magnet in it. If you don't shake it up, they just clump together. So shake it up first, stick a cow magnet in, which is great.
The problem with leaving it on overhead, it heats up and will expand and
And crack, and you get this oil, which is.
It's great for astronomy, show them magnetic field of the earth.
Can we take down on
Yeah, you just.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to get around it.
The other problem with that what you just showed is that the magnet, of course, can slide out. And unless you put a plug in there, somebody's going to pick it up, the magnets will slide out. The magnets are like $10. You need a replacement when it fits in. So
Before they count that tonight, they're not very expensive. Count that.
So just stop it inside.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
Yeah, magnets. Okay, we have Texas cows.
Rubber stop.
Yeah, it's easy to.
Okay. Okay?
Yeah.
Battery? I may have to. Oh, what's a cow magnet? What do cows do in the field? They eat. What do farmers leave all over the place? They're working on the fence, they drop a nail, they drop a piece of this, they drop a piece of that, there's metal in the field, right? So the cows are munching, 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 munching. They go up to the fences, right? What they want to do is, cow has about 7 stomachs, I heard. So what they do is they drop this magnet in the cow, it goes in the first stomach. So this way, anything metal coming through gets attached to that magnet. It doesn't go all the way through their digestive system, because they rip them up into little pieces. Cow magnets are nice, because you can use them in a lot of different ways. Plus you get to explain that.
Suppose that's how you made a cow milk.
Wow.
Okay, so we've got a vertical wire and iron filings around it. And see the lines up around.
It's simple, it's obvious, but it needs to be shown. And then the same demonstration. More complicated shapes. Jerry? Or you got it? Yeah, I need a tap here. Okay, ready? Okay. You do need a lock card, again, it's 10 amps. I know I'm delivering a lot more, but if I never put these wires.
Could you try that with that glycerin thing? Running the wire through the glycerin box?
Huh?
I'm sure.
Just wondering what that would look like.
Good question.
Well, let's do this one, and then we'll break that out, and
Uh-oh. Packing material. Wait, don't plug it in. Let's watch Dave get electrocuted.
12 hours.
Toroid, right? Solenoid's great. Toroid's fun. I'm usually pretty liberal with this. Okay?
Ready?
Yep. Pretty, right? Student project. Let them go ahead and make it. Hey, what have we got here? We got acrylic, we got wood to make a stand, we got nice magnet wire. Right? Transformer wire. Sure. Pretty heavy duty. Big master car cell. Takes patience. My students have it. That's what I do.
If you make that with a big enough loop, you can buy these transparent compasses and lay them in.
Lay them inside. Exactly. Which is nice.
Also works nice is grounding wire. It's used to ground your TV in minus heavy gauge aluminum.
That's pretty good too. Never actually seen it work with that, but that's probably pretty good.
We used them last week in the
Did you make a mistake? Yeah.
Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, that's all I can hang out to. I suspect that
Ouch.
Yeah. Part of the problem is the distance of the wire to where the iron filings start is probably on the order of at least 1/4 of an inch. By the time you get through the airspace where the magnet's supposed to go.
Too many wire.
How's that?
Too many wire.
Yeah. And then there's plastic tube with all this stuff.
You don't want to risk burning your fingers or melting the wires or using car batteries too. I think it's Simco that makes the
Yes,
specifically
yes,
for
that's
this.
great.
What is well worth the money. 100 amp? Yeah, it's a 100 amp pulse. It's for another pass, you hit the button, boom, it's done. So it's safe in the classroom. I have no idea what they charge for it. I'm not even 100% sure I'm manufacturer. It's one of the big companies, so it's, I think it's Simco.
We use it for car starters at the moment.
Yeah, that's what we use. It's a battery charger, high current battery charger. Got it through Granger. It's made by Dayton. It provides 650 amps.
That beats my 100 amps there.
It's enough to kill more than one person. You can't use lead. You can't solder onto your wires. You have to use screws to hold your wires because everything on it melts. And you can only apply the current for a very short period of time. It takes extremely large amount of current to cause two parallel wires to repel because the mass of the wire is so heavy.
Next on the list, I think, is
Meissner?
Meissner. How many are not familiar with Meissner effect? Okay. Yeah.
Does he have a light on?
Leave it. You're fine. That's fine. Meissner effect is basically the trapping of magnetic fields in a superconductor, which became practical about 13 years ago, when high temperature superconductors were developed. And what's the thing? What I have here is a piece of styrofoam with a high temperature superconductor sitting in the middle. And as soon as that comes down to temperature, I have my fingers a tiny little neodymium magnet. If all works well. When the superconductor starts superconducting, the magnet should flow. Unfortunately, with my record today,
You have to be a little careful with those and how you store them. You want to store them in dry ice, keep them from absorbing moisture. They're brittle, you don't want to drop them.
That's an excellent demo to do on a demo show. You have the kids over. You can buy these kits from Colorado Superconductor, which is in Colorado. Right? They might have originally been there.
I guess we missed Meissner effect. Meissner effect was way back in 5G 5050.
That's fine.
We did out of her. Yeah, that's everything was there. There,
That's it. Could you just briefly explain your video camera setup? Because I have a lot of trouble being able to see it like that.
You're having trouble seeing what?
In my own operation, setting it up.
This is actually Guelph's video camera setup. They have a very nice video camera here, and I'm backlighting it with their scope. What I usually use is a video camera on the gooseneck, and again, lightly backlit, and essentially what we're doing is shadow projecting.
Now, this is one that presentation is really important. Here's the levitating magnet on this superconducting disc, and it's in some type of cup here so that it can hold the liquid nitrogen. What I do, Karl, over here, and the presentation works great, is come in with the camera at some low angle. So you don't want to be looking down at a steep angle. You want to be looking in at a low angle so that your levitating superconductor, when you get it levitating, you've got a backdrop here of the edge of your cup. And then come down with a very bright source of lighting. Don't just use your room lights. Put a light on there and light it with a room light. That way you can stop your camera way down and your depth of field opens up. So you don't have a real fuzzy looking, unfocused target. You have a very sharp image.
Next not to come. You want to talk about magnets on a pivot for a second?
Magnets on a pivot, these, not very little explanation, you get these rotating magnet stands from Pasco or another supplier to use Pasco thing 5,000 times in one table. And they can sit on the overhead and you can show north and south the trappes and repulsion. Very unimaginative.
Jerry's going to drag in the CRT, which is next. And while he's doing that, Dave, you want to mention the overrun tube?
You ever run to? Should have mentioned it. Does anybody do that? Yeah. Right. It works best as a lab. If you're going to do it in the classroom, you need over M2. They're pretty delicate. If you have one specifically for electric demonstrations, it's a nice idea. This way you can just read the setup on parts somewhere, reel it out. I normally use the video camera to show it, turn the lights off. I don't like it that much as a demonstration, because how are you going to make a part? You usually get the bigger tubes. You can do that, but even at that point, a room in size. How big is the flight? Can you see it from far back in the room? With the camera? Yeah, okay. How much money is the day on? $1,100. How expensive are the tubes?
It's all one unit and it has control.
Wow, well that's sweet. Maybe they're here with that right now. Yeah. Is the big round tube? It's a large tube with about
The one that sets up 6 inch tubes, sets up on a coil and all over the unit, it's all power protected and everything.
Can you rotate the tube with respect to the coil?
You can, but it's not set up that way.
Can you bring a handheld magnet up to it? Nice.
The one that you can rotate with respect to the walls, you can really see the QB cost B business, but when you get a helix in or out, and as you rotate, it makes it really visible.
Normally, they don't go into it that deeply in the introductory physics classes, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't have it as part of your repertoire. You have the money and have the right setup for the room. It's a nice thing. If you have just small classes, it's something else to do.
But you definitely have to cover it if it's QB cost B, and that's it. It really does it well.
It does do it well. It does do, but it's a lot of money to invest in one small effect.
That would just call it replacement ball for a clinger setup. It's not.
You ever hear that? The clinger setup, it does the same thing. You run, replace just the tube. It's $900. So you have a little mistake, a little accident, you're carrying that bad boy, bam, you ruin your day.
Also, they don't set up the accelerator voltage.
Right, you can ruin it right there. Doesn't take much. In fact, they use it in the labs, and I know in the labs they're always having problems.
That's why I always. Right.
That's right. And even then, they still sometimes. Right. So, but it's a great thing. If you can afford it, and you have the druthers, then go ahead and get it. I'm sorry I couldn't bring one. Probably what the last of the trips is some of the things you can break from here. Just my own.
We have another one that didn't make the trip.
What a shame.
One of these.
Cathode ray tube? We use TV.
Garbage picks up one way.
Garbage stick like the way. Do you have the tube opened up? Do you have it exposed?
Yeah, we got.
And then you go inside. Very careful though, right? Because why? Bad voltage is going on in the back there. You got some kids playing with a magnet here, and you can have yourself a nice little French fry there. Not a good idea. But they're beautiful. I mean,
You take a neat dining and you reflect it, bends it so much, you get a big circle, it's good, it's awesome.
one of the things I'd like to do, and I mean, these are great, would work. We have an old oscilloscope actually, where we get a single beam going, and we just set that up, and then we just bring the magnet up to it, put it in this way, that way, or cross, or whatever. Okay, that's nice.
We finally put a plastic shield on that scope too, because the fact of bringing that magnet and bonking the tube and just waiting for it to turn it into a torpedo.
Great. Another nice thing to do too is if you have an old color TV, which most people do lying around someplace, nice powerful magnet, bring that bad boy to the front, Place it up there. Yeah, never be the same. Well, that's going to be better. Right. Don't use it for watching TV.
Try that out in your mouth.
Right.
One thing you should always be aware of if you're hauling this old tube equipment around, tubes in vibration don't seem to get along very well, tend to die.
Okay, next on the list is parallel wires. What we do is we have two thin strips of aluminum foil. I just cut from a roll of aluminum foil with a razor knife. They hang parallel. I borrowed a 6-volt battery from the folks here at Guelph. I normally use a 12-volt. The reason 12-volt works better than the 6, as you'll see, is there is resistance in the tin foil. And to get a lot of current through the wires going, you need enough potential difference to push the current through. So in one direction, they attract. Did we see that? Even those people asleep in the back, Trappe? And in the other direction with the reversing switch, they separate. I beg your pardon?
I can't see the
This here, the circuit diagram, I'll do my cherry bit here, is 2 wires joined at the bottom, and essentially in one variation, it's hooked up like that, so the current goes parallel. In the other variation, we end up going like this. Yes, the current will go through, down one side and up the other.
They used to make old ones of these that used a little mercury bath at the bottom. So the two things would sit inside the mercury bath.
Yeah.
Just, you know, you can play with it that way. Don't go near it.
We still have a casing for ours. They
Yeah.
moved the mercury.
Leave the casing, just don't go near it. Bad ideas.
Pretty wall art.
Jumping wire, is that what work too?
Yes, jumping wire next. You pull it up. Okay. Just right there. Actually, turn the magnet 90 degrees. I need a stand here. Yep, slide. Okay. Hanging wire, jumping wire is basically we're passing a current through a wire. Walk around the side so they can. Pass cheap. I'll just do it. Oops. Oh. Okay. That's all right. We'll just reverse the.
A lot of current.
Okay.
You're off the magnet, yeah.
Andy can't see it, but. Ready?
Yeah.
Chris,
Is there going to be a large program like that?
you lose.
Magnetron magnets are generally unavailable now. They were popularly used as radar magnets in the 40s. I really don't know if they're that available. I know I have them from the 40s, and I don't know where you would go get them.
But there are alternatives now. Let's say, yeah, we could say Pasco. They sell a nice magnet assembly, okay, that is kind of like a vise. You move them in and out, and set something underneath it, and have it jump right out of it.
Pasco has basically a bracket for neodymium magnets. I don't know how many of you have seen, you can get big neodymium magnets now, and they're really, really strong, and they can be hazardous. You never want to get one stuck on a blackboard or something because you won't get it off without damaging it. You don't want to get any skin pinch between them because it will tear it up.
Where do you get
Uh,
Arbor. $35 each.
Yeah, and there's, if you look them up, look on the web, just do a search, you can find places that supply neodymium magnets, and you can even special order them.
Okay. One thing, our favorite supplier does sell a very nice, expensive, adjustable magnet. For those of you who aren't know what it's, you simply buy a C-clamp. attach a magnet to one end of the coil, you have an adjustable magnet. The magnets will stick to the clamp preferably rather than sucking together themselves, so it works quite well.
Jerry, our last one before lunch.
Okay, this is 1K10.20, induction coil magnet galvo. I have here a handmade induction coil, which is simply magnet wire. Is anybody not familiar with magnet wire? You can use any wire. Magnet wire is a favorite. It's wire that's got a clear insulator on it. And all I did was wind, or all we did here was wind many turns of magnet wire around a piece of PVC, bring out both ends, and the both ends are connected to a galvanometer here. And here's one of these strong magnets that Jerry Hester was just mentioning, the neodymium. It doesn't need to be a very strong magnet. And if I bring it in, bring it away, bring it in, and away. If I reverse poles, bring it in, and away, in, and away. Or likewise, I can hold the magnet stationary and move the coil. Some people do this for relativity, believe it or not. And that's these galvos. You can get, this is a Senko galvo. You can also get them from Nakamura. Is anyone not familiar with Nakamura?
It should be on your catalog list.
It's on your catalog list there. They sell pretty good galvos, Japanese supplier. And as another last demo here, I've got something called Barlow's wheel, which is also known as the homopolar motor. And it's not on the PIRA 200, but we describe it to you. It's simply a copper disc connected with a spindle or axle. So here's a disc of copper with an axle going through it. And there's a little brush here contacting the outside edge, and another little brush here contacting the axle. And these come out and are connected to the galvanometer. And around it here, I have a strong magnet surrounding the piece of copper. It's known as Barlow's wheel. I have no idea who Barlow is. Or it's more popularly known as the homopolar motor. And what I'm going to simply do is, using this crank here, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to make this disc to rotate in the presence of a magnetic field and watch the galvanometer. I'm a little bit of trouble here with this. This belt is stretched over. It's slipping. Just turn my hand like this. You can see the deflection of your galvo there, and I'm in the reverse direction. So you're simply moving a conductor in a magnetic field. And this has the strange name of homopolar motor, Barlow's wheel.
All right. What we're going to do is let you guys go for a while, relax a little bit, come back at 1:30, start all over again. We're going to finish up. All right?
Yeah.